Alrighty, morning everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on another beautiful day. So in today's video we are gonna do a scrapping and silver and gold stacking mix-up video, kind of sort of thing. We are gonna do both today. We are gonna be talking about stacking stuff and we're gonna be talking about scrapping stuff, because this is basically what we're doing right here. So, in case you didn't notice it already, there's a lot of cutlery in front of me. Particularly, hopefully, stuff that mainly consists out of silver. However, after looking at this stuff, I ordered this online, or I didn't really order this online, I bought that from people online, from private people online. And I don't think it went too well, honestly, because I hoped that this stuff, the top of this stuff, would be silver. Because it's gold-plated, I was like, yeah, well, gold-plated, what stuff's gold-plated? Probably silver. Turns out, probably not. So, that's nice, I guess. I'm gonna show you why I think that might not be the case in just a moment here. And it's not this little mark because the gold plating is pretty thick, I think. Yeah, that's not great. This part of the deal is not great. That's only 800 parts silver. It's the same amount of silver that is in these bars. That's what I kind of bought this for, to make more of them. But and I bought this stuff as junk, right? I bought this as 500 and 700 something grams of junk silver, right? And I turn it into my bars, which are still junk silver. So just in case you were wondering about that, I don't know why you would, but there you go. So this part of the deal, probably not great. We're going to check everything with a magnet soon and see if there's anything magnetic on there and proceed from there, I guess. But the next part of it, which is this stuff comes from Great Britain, from England specifically, and supposedly is sterling silver. Like, at least the handles of everything of this are sterling silver. That's definitely a thing, because it's marked with the walking lion thingamajigger, which is the sign for sterling silver, pretty much. So I think you can see that somewhere here. I really hope so. It should be somewhere there, right? Like right there. I don't know if the camera is gonna want to focus on that. I'm gonna try to force it to do so, and just, yeah, there you go. The second one from the left, that should be the lion thing that's walking. I think it's really hard to see, but you get the gist of it. Like, I thought that these blades were silver as well, because, you know, they've got the silver patina, so there's no doubt about that. That is silver patina, no doubt. However, on second thought, there are some hallmarks on this, but these don't really say that there is any silver in there. So they could just be silver plated, and I actually suspect them to be silver plated, because, you know, look at that. That is something that steel does. That is not something that silver does. Silver is a very, 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 very soft metal. Just, you know, to give you a little bit of an example of that, I've got a little silver fork here, and that is way thicker. And now look at that. That is silver, right? Silver is pretty much as soft as gold. Not quite, but pretty much. So we're gonna need that sooner or later. This is not something particularly valuable. It's mass-produced stuff, but it's still 800 parts silver. It's got sharp edges and stuff like that, so it's industrial made. So don't freak out about that. But yeah, that's that's not great. I'm basically just showing you this to show you what can happen if you're doing stuff like that. Can be dangerous, can be reasonably lucrative, but you really need to really know what you're doing. And I've been doing this for quite some time, and I apparently still don't know what I'm doing, so there's that. But, you know, it's not all bad, because we also have some parts like these, like this thing here, which is probably, probably weighs an ounce. We're gonna weigh that in just a moment. And that is sterling silver too. And I paid way below spot for that stuff. So, honestly, could be worse, could be way better, but it could be worse. So, we're gonna weigh all this stuff up in just a moment. Well, maybe not all of it, but, you know, we're just gonna calculate how much it actually is, so that we didn't get scammed on that side. I don't think so, but yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do a separate video where we actually take all this apart. I try to not cut myself. This is actually pretty sharp. Yeah, I'm gonna do a separate video on us just scrapping this stuff down. And if you're interested in it, we can also do a video on me melting it down, because I ordered some new melting thingamajiggers, and yeah, we're gonna do that. So yeah, that's cool. This thing, I really like that. I kind of wanted to keep it because it's very sturdy, and this is probably actually something that was made by hand. I should probably hold on to the camera, I'm sorry. But then again, I just don't really know what to do with it, to be honest. So, no, I think we're gonna melt this, because why on earth would I not? So, yeah, that's that. But let's take another look at this stuff here, first of all, because this is kind of the stuff that is worrying me a little bit. You see, I already broke one of these forks, and don't know if you can see that, but that doesn't look like silver. So I suspect that is brass. Which I don't know why, but I really do think that this is brass. It's very soft, like, see? Very, very soft. So it fits the softness description of silver, but it doesn't look like silver. It's definitely gold plated, like, I know that. But I don't think that this is silver. I'm going to melt it down. I'm going to melt it into small little bars, and I'm just gonna sell them for not a lot of money, because the gold plating is really not worth a lot. But yeah, I just don't think that this is silver. Could be wrong. Then again, but I just doubt it. I really just doubt it. I'm gonna melt them down just to see how the finished product's gonna look, but yeah, I might also just sell the stuff as is to like a local gold buying up place. So, oh well, that was not great. Certainly not. So the grips, they are certainly 800 parts silver. You can see that up there somewhere, hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, probably here. Can you see that? Let's try to get a focus on that. Yeah, there it is. There's a little 800. So these should be silver. I unfortunately don't have my test set here. I broke that thing, so I ordered 2 new ones so that I can break another one and still have one. But as soon as that arrives, we're gonna test these, and we're gonna scrap these all out, and we're gonna melt those into bars. I might do a video about that if you're interested in that, but yeah, and we're also going to test this gold plating, because I actually want to know how high grade this gold plating is, and if I can actually sell that for any sort of money, because gold plating can be reasonably valuable. Yeah, but then again, you're probably not gonna... I don't know how valuable gold plating is. I never really tried to bother with that, but I guess you could. So there's that. You could just sell it anyways, but yeah, it's not steel. Got a magnet right here, a reasonably strong one, because as you see, this is steel. I expected that, because, there's no patina on this whatsoever, just a stainless steel blade, and I think it actually says that on... Yeah, fair enough. That probably indicates that it's stainless steel as well. So, yeah. But, yeah, the grips, certainly there's nothing magnetic about them, so... Hopefully sterling silver. This thing, certainly sterling silver. This thing, of course, I already tested that. That is 800 parts silver. It looks like it's more than that, right? It looks very nice and shiny, but I think the person that sold it to me polished it because they wanted it to look that way. Oh well. So there's that, but this stuff certainly is not magnetic. So it probably is brass, bronze, or something in between that, but it's very soft. And I've not really ever seen that with brass. Brass, in my experience at least, has always been a very brittle metal, but then again, I really only worked with very, very big pieces of brass, and, they tend to crack before they bend, so, yeah, I just don't know. I don't think it's silver. I think it's reasonable to assume that it's not. But, just to make sure, we're actually gonna break this thing apart right now. So, that we can kind of like compare the inside of this, which is not in focus, but you've seen it before, to whatever this inside looks like, and maybe it looks orange, yeah, yellowish, and well, I guess we'll see about that, but first of all, we're gonna break this. Oh, that was very easy. Yeah, as you can see, this is just white inside, maybe with the tiniest hint of yellow, but it's not like that, right? So this is definitely something else. This is brass or whatever. So that is really unfortunate. I made a oopsie there. Yeah, oh well, I guess we're gonna get out of that somehow, but you know, all is not lost, right? Maybe the gold plating is worth something, maybe it is not, I guess we'll see. But we've got this stuff now. These handles. Actually, let's weigh one. Let's weigh one of these handles, let's figure out exactly what that weighs, and I can give you a rough estimate on how much silver is in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. So that thing with this little piece of brass that's still in there, which probably goes to about here, is still 33.8 grams. So I'd assume half of that is the weight of the silver, because this is also filled. There's some kind of resin usually in there. Half of that is probably the weight of silver, so we're looking at maybe 16, 17 grams of 800 parts silver, so like 14 bucks, 14 grams in fine silver. That ain't a lot. No, it surely ain't. And I probably paid way more for this than I should have. I paid 110 bucks for these 12 things. I think they are 12. I'm pretty sure they are 12. Yeah, 12. So I paid 110 bucks for these 12, and I don't think that they are going to be worth it, honestly. So if you're doing stuff like that, gotta be very careful. You know, don't try to buy something for more money than you think it's worth. Actually, don't buy it for what you think it's worth. Buy it for 50 bucks less. Doesn't matter what it is. Because, like, honestly, this is probably what this is gonna be worth, right? Like 50 bucks. Because 800 parts silver, you have to refine that, right? This is not something that you just sell for spot. Or, like, not for spot, for your normal bullion prices, right? It's just not worth that, right? This is not great, okay? So let's forget about that. Let's forget about this half and let's move on into the future, because this is definitely gonna be a loss. That is for sure. So, next thing. These pieces of hopefully sterling silver. We'll test that once the test set is here. Thing I'm most excited about is this. Probably a sugar or salt spoon. I showed it to you just a minute ago, pretty much. So we're gonna weigh it up now. See what that weighs. That weighs 30 grams. I said an ounce before, right? I said like about an ounce, so that was pretty accurate. Good. So the scale in my hand is still working. That's nice to see, even though I have been away from scrapping for quite some time. I can still do that, so that's epic, but I kind of need this to weigh like 200 grams to make this whole thing be worth it. So that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. So let's weigh one of these forks. And just because some of you are probably going to be asking, yes, this is also steel. Unfortunately, I thought it might be silver, but as you can see, I've got really strong hands and I can't bend that. So that is probably even like tempered or hardened or whatever. Like that is a really strong piece of metal. Like this is not bending, right? Like you can see that. Like there's like the tiniest bend in there. That is not silver. That is certainly either probably silver plate because it has silver patina on it. But that is certainly not silver, which is incredibly unfortunate. But let me give you the hot tip. That is usually the case with these 2-pound things. I bought a lot of these back in the days because I was like, when I bought this, I was like, oh my god, this is probably silver because it was so bendy, right? And I bought a whole bunch of it. And now that stuff all arrives, over the next couple of days and weeks. And now I'm kind of already biting my ass because I was absolutely so stupid. It's just, why? Why would I do that? Test your stuff, then buy more of it if it's good, okay? Don't do it the other way around. So, let's weigh this now and figure out how much money we lost here. So this is 36.5 grams. It's reasonable to assume that, again, not quite half of this is going to be this grip, so this handle. So I'm just going to go with maybe like 15 grams of sterling. So yeah, I mean, it ain't great, right? How many do we have? 6 right here. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90 grams of sterling silver. 90 grams of sterling silver. What is that worth? $60, something like that. If you buy it for your normal bullion prices in the form of like a nice coin on the bar, but it's not in the form of a nice coin in the bar. So 90 grams of sterling silver, probably going towards 50, 45, $50 realistically, right? For what you're gonna buy it. Now, maybe $50, I think it's a reasonable number for that. I think that's probably spot at the moment. I'm not too sure how it's gonna be when you're watching this video. Gotta check your spot prices before you do stuff, but probably. So we've got like 120 grams of sterling silver here. Let's weigh this stuff and figure out how much we've got over here. So this knife, 47. That was so light. It's just not going to be any silver on. Yeah, and then again, another interesting thing. These knife handles, they are a little bit bigger than the fork ones, but not majorly. So I'm just going to go with... I would like to go with 20. It's not going to be 20, but I think we're just going to go with 20 for, ease of calculating, and just subtract a little bit of something in the end. So I'm just going to go with 20 now. We've got 20. I'm just going to quickly count them here. You can see them right here, right? I'm not trying to fool you or whatever. So it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. What is this? Is that also a knife? Yes, 120. And these are bigger. These are a little bit bigger grips. So it's 120 grams. We'll just subtract 20 grams from that. So that's 100 grams. We'll go with that because that's, probably realistic. Maybe it's 105 grams, but whatever, right? So we have 120 here. We have got 105 here. So that's 225. I guess we're getting somewhere. I paid $250 for this, though. So we're not getting that back. No, sir. Oh, man. Okay. So let's just get on with it so that we can get out of our misery. Next thing is this like, what is that, for cutting pies or whatever? I don't really eat sugar, so I guess they're this thing. Weighs 75 grams. I'm just gonna go with 25 grams for the grip, and this thing, big cutting knife for cutting stuff, that weighs 80 grams. I'm just gonna go with 25 grams for the grip as well, so that's another 50 grams. In connection with our 225 grams that we had before, we are now at a whopping, like, what is that? Like 275 grams. So, assuming that we get maybe $50 for 100 grams, we might be at $135. I paid $250. Want to remind you of that again. So that is not good. That is not good. Hey, you know what? Let's just weigh this thing. Maybe that's a little better. It's 12.5. I mean, that's not too terrible, is it? I think I paid $3 for this or something like that. So that was actually a good buy. But this is a massive loss. And it's... like, you all know that I don't make a lot of money, so this is actually pretty bad for me. But, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna swallow that. But, it's not all bad. Like, I really like silver. And the only thing that I really have to do, if I pay too much for this stuff, is I just need to put it into a corner and wait for the price to go up. Because I really don't think that the price is gonna go down. So if it goes down, oh well, joke's on me, I guess. But for now, it could be worse. It could have just been a total scam. But, it might as well be, because we didn't test it yet. But oh well. I think we've learned from this. I think you might have been able to learn from this. We are going to scrap this out. We are going to take all the silver out. We're going to weigh up exactly how much silver we have, and not just have my weird estimates here. I estimate this to be approximately 275 grams, but we're going to see in the videos that are going to follow this. If anyone cares. If no one cares, oh well, guess what? Then I'm not going to do a video like that again. So if you care, please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you might want to do. I don't really care about that. Be sure to write something in the comments if you want to see another part of this, because I actually think it's interesting. I hope you find it interesting, because scrapping silver is not really something that most people do. So yeah, there is that. If you want to, you can also subscribe to the channel. That would make me very happy. And remember, your freedom is more important than any commodity. Have a fantastic week, and until next time.